The allure of the zoo is unbeatable. The antics of swinging monkeys have an enchanting quality that appeals to just about everyone, and the intrigue of spotting animals artfully concealed within their enclosures can provide hours of amusement. However, as recently experienced by the staff at an English zoo, not all instances of zoo excitement are equal. During a routine nighttime walkthrough at Dudley Zoo, a staff member made a chilling discovery. One of the cage doors stood wide open, and the inhabitant had vanished from its enclosure, venturing into the park beyond. Swift action was imperative, and officials were resolute in their determination to bring the situation under control. Dudley Zoo in England stands as a year-round destination for families. Spanning an impressive 40 acres on the grounds of Dudley Castle, the zoo is home to a remarkable array of wildlife. Guests wandering along tree-lined paths might find themselves surrounded by the playful antics of lemurs, or they can engage with tusked walruses in an up-close encounter. Yet, it was a particular resident that commanded significant attention. An 8-year-old snow leopard named Margosh captured the spotlight. The zoo is fortunate to have such a majestic and rare creature within its confines, and visitors often found themselves entranced by his presence. While the habitat housed multiple leopards, it was Margosh who seemed to captivate the most gazes. His spirited nature made him a favorite among zoo staff, who delighted in his impromptu performances. While Margosh's affable demeanor endeared him to many, he remained a wild animal. Workers were always vigilant around him, adhering to strict guidelines for interacting with all the animals. However, during a closing walkthrough on a fateful evening, chaos ensued. A staff member urgently signaled for others to gather near the snow leopard enclosure. To their dismay, the door had been left wide open, and Margosh was nowhere to be seen. Panic set in as employees searched frantically, uncertain of when or where the leopard might appear. The urgency was palpable. Dudley Castle's bustling grounds were an unsuitable hunting ground for a leopard. A nightmare scenario loomed if Margosh utilized his predatory skills in the wrong environment. Zoo security was swiftly called in, equipped with tranquilizer guns and floodlights. The focus was resolute. Margosh must be found, or he could pose a danger to people outside the zoo's confines. After hours of meticulous searching, a worker spotted Margosh on the edge of the wooded area, poised to venture into the space separating the zoo from the surrounding land. Action had to be taken. With tranquilizer darts on hand for such contingencies, sedation was the logical choice. But curiously, the zoo's veterinarian advised against this approach and suggested the use of a bullet instead. The approaching nightfall intensified the urgency, and zoo security reluctantly followed this advice. A single shot reverberated. Margosh's demise sparked outrage among animal rights groups. Was there truly no alternative? This incident exacerbated ethical concerns surrounding keeping animals confined, giving voice to calls for change. Margosh's innocence was irrefutable. He had merely strayed from his enclosure due to a staff error. Moreover, given the estimated population of only around 5,000 snow leopards in the wild, his loss was particularly poignant. Julie Whittier, campaign director of the zoo inspection group ZooCheck, was deeply troubled by the incident. As shy creatures, snow leopards were unlikely to encounter a throng of people during the nighttime escape. She questioned the need for lethal force. Dudley Zoo director Derek Grove defended the decision to euthanize Margosh. While deeply saddened, he prioritized the safety of innocent individuals. If Margosh had harmed anyone, Grove would have felt a personal responsibility. Margosh's memory will forever hold a special place at Dudley Zoo, but his absence remains an unfillable void. While zoo officials maintained that they were left with no alternative, there is hope that the zoo will implement stricter protocols to prevent such tragedies in the future. While encounters with wild or escaped animals in our personal spaces are rare, their presence can lead to serious consequences when they do occur. Typically, such creatures seek to avoid human interaction at all costs. Yet, the rarity of such incidents serves as a reminder of the potential hazards that can arise when these worlds intersect. Consider bears, creatures not often associated with vulnerability. Yet, their innate curiosity can occasionally place them in difficult situations. This truth was vividly demonstrated through the tale of a bear on St. James Island in Florida's Alligator Point. Weighing 375 pounds, the black bear had been nosing around the neighborhood when it ventured into a residential abode. Wildlife conservation officers were summoned to ensure its sedation and safe relocation, yet complications arose once the tranquilizer was administered. While the idea of employing tranquilizers might appear severe, the officers faced no alternative. Their goal was to protect both the bear and local residents, preventing a potential encounter between the two. Though the tranquilizer was a humane approach, its outcome was far from assured. Regrettably, their plan faltered. Instead of inducing sedation, the dart spurred the bear into a state of panic. Wildlife officers braced themselves for adversity, unaware of the impending peril. In his distress, the bear, driven by fear and the officers in pursuit, sprinted toward the nearby water. He swam desperately, propelled by the urgency of the situation. Yet the sedative's effects began to take hold. Struggling to stay afloat, the drowsy bear faced the grim reality of drowning. In this dire moment, Adam Warwick, a biologist with the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, recognized the urgency and took swift action. Driven by a surge of adrenaline, Adam boldly dove into the water, swimming toward the massive bear. Despite the inherent danger, he seized the moment, enveloping the bear with his arms. A perilous endeavor, it was motivated by instinct rather than contemplation. Reflecting on the experience, Adam later remarked, "It was a spur-of-the-moment decision. I had a lot of adrenaline pumping when I saw the bear in the water." His decision was propelled by that adrenaline surge, shielding him from recognizing the true extent of the danger. With determination, Adam grasped the bear's considerable form and maneuvered toward shallower waters, where fellow wildlife officers awaited. The bear's distress was palpable. It struggled to balance on Adam, its ability to control its limbs diminishing. Despite the complexity and hazard of the situation, Adam maintained a composed demeanor as he guided the bear toward the rescue boat. Grit and caution guided his movements as he held the bear by its scruff, navigating toward safety. Ultimately, Adam successfully towed the robust predator roughly 25 yards to dry land. The aquatic terrain presented its challenges, yet they persevered. As they reached the rescue team, relief washed over the group. Although sedated, the bear retained the capacity to react unpredictably. Remarkably, Adam emerged from the ordeal with only a solitary scratch. Otherwise, unscathed, his bold intervention defied the potential hazards that loomed. Colleagues rallied to support the weary duo, helping them regain composure. Transporting the drowsy bear back to its home in Osceola National Forest required concerted effort. A sizable tractor was enlisted to facilitate the process, given the bear's weight. Thankfully, the bear emerged from its aquatic escapade unharmed. Evidently, the experience deterred it from venturing near water for the foreseeable future. Crucially, the majestic bear was safely returned to an environment that suited its needs. It is hoped that the lesson was well learned and the bear will refrain from wandering into residential areas in the future.